This is lesson 1-2, order of operations and evaluating algebraic expressions. If this is your first time using these videos, please make sure you're carefully listening to the audio output so that you know when to pause the video to give yourself a chance to do some examples. Let's take a look at some vocabulary for this particular lesson. The base is the number that is being multiplied. So when we have a base and exponent scenario, the base is the big number at the bottom, and that's the one that's being multiplied. The exponent is the number of times to multiply the base by itself. In other words, it's the number that's up in the air next to the base. The entire term, the base and the exponent, is called a power. Here's an example of what a power looks like. In this case, 5 to the power of 4, the base is 5, and the exponent is 4. You can easily evaluate these things in your calculator. So what does it mean? You want to take the base, as we said, and multiply it by itself however many times the exponent is. If the expression is numerical, you must evaluate it to a final answer. So as we had on the last slide, 5 to the 4th power is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. This again can be easily evaluated in your calculator, and you get 625. If we can't evaluate it, we just leave it as such. X to the 4th is equal to x times x times x times x. Let's talk about order of operations. We have to follow a certain order for our operations to obtain a correct answer. For a mnemonic device, we use PEMDAS. PEMDAS is as follows. We start by taking care of any parentheses. Then we evaluate any part that has exponents. Multiplication and division are done from left to right at the same time. Addition and subtraction are done from left to right to finish out the problem at the same time. Here are some examples. You should write these examples down, then pause the video to give yourself a chance to do all 3 examples. Let's take a look at the solution for the first example. 80 minus 4 times the quantity 7 minus 5. PEMDAS dictates that I would handle the parentheses first. 7 minus 5 is 2. So my next line should read 80 minus 4 times 2. I have no exponents to deal with, so I'll go to multiplication and division. 4 times 2 is 8. So 80 minus 8, and I'll finish out by getting 72, and that is my final answer. Please notice the organization that takes place when doing these types of problems. Here's example number 2. The first thing I want to do again is take care of the parentheses. I do that twice. 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. I then will take care of my exponents. 5 to the 2nd power is 25, and 3 to the 3rd power is 27. I then am going to do multiplication of 6 and 25 to get 150. My last step will be to add 150 and 27 to get 177. Here's example number 3. Again, the first thing I'll do is take care of parentheses. 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. The next thing I'll do is take care of exponents. 1 squared is 1. The next thing I'll do is take care of multiplication and division going from left to right. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. And 5 times 3 is 15. Then I'll do addition and subtraction going from left to right. 7 minus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 15 is 20. When we evaluate algebraic expressions, we have some steps we need to complete. The first thing we need to do is plug in all values for each variable when we are given them. A reminder that you probably want to use parentheses where you possibly can, especially with negative numbers. Make sure you're always following your order of operations and simplify. Most of these questions end up being 2 or 3 point questions on the regions, which means you must show all of your work to obtain full credit. Make sure you always check your arithmetic using a calculator so that you do not make simple mistakes and cost yourself points on a test or exam. Let's take a look at an example. Evaluate ABC squared if A is equal to -6, B is equal to 2, and C is equal to -1. Pause the video at this point to give yourself a chance to do the example. So the first thing I want to do is plug in my numbers for the particular letters that they were assigned for. A is -6, B is 2, C is -1. So I plug them in where appropriate. I now am going to follow PEMDAS rules to evaluate the expression. -1 squared is a +1. Now I will multiply going from left to right. -6 times 2 is -12, and -12 times 1 is also -12. Please make sure to consult your teacher on this lesson if you're having difficulty.